My beloved child, feel your own breath rise and fall within your chest. Feel the quiet insistence of your heart still beating its ancient rhythm. Notice the ordinary light that met you when you opened your eyes this morning, and the ground that received your weight when your feet found the floor. There has never been a single moment in your life that was accidental. Not the breath, not the beating, not the waking. It is because I have kept you. Not luck, not the strong veneer you learned to wear, not the way you handled it so well, not superior planning, not flawless choices, not because danger forgot your address or sorrow lost your name, not because the storm was gentle or because time simply healed all. It is because I have kept you. I laid my hand over your nights when you thought the darkness would never end. I stood between your mind and the cliff's edge when fear whispered you were done. I steadied you when you staggered beneath the weight of again. You survived what tried to swallow you whole, and you called it getting by. I called it preservation. My beloved child, I have heard the whispers you were too tired to pray, the ones you pushed down while building a quiet routine that didn't ask you to hope too much. God forgot me, you said in the language of resignation, not because you wanted to accuse me, but because your circumstances seemed unchanged, and you needed a name for the ache. I do not shame you for that sentence. I draw near to it. I answer it. Your continued existence is not neutral evidence. It is the first proof that you have been kept. Silence is not always absence. Quiet is not neglect. What looked like nothing happening was a shelter I erected around you, while I positioned what you could not see. The mornings that felt ordinary, the weeks that blurred, the prayers that ended with sighs, do not misread them. That very nothing was the sign of protection. I have been quietly redirecting your steps, gently placing limits where disaster wanted access, allowing some doors to stand shut so your soul would not be wounded beyond easy repair. I am not here to force you, my beloved child. I am here to call you back to a truer reading of your life, to teach your eyes to recognize my fingerprints in the uncelebrated moments. Do not despise that you are still here. Do not downplay the miracle of endurance and call it ordinary. Not a single breath is wasted. Not a single morning is meaningless. Not a single tear has been unseen. Begin here. Let the fact that you are alive, listening, yearning, be the first witness. You are not forgotten. You are kept. My beloved child, let me name the logic you have been living by so you can lay it down. You watched the days circle the same mountain and said, if you cared, it would look different by now. You held the clock like a verdict and concluded, if I am still waiting, I must be forgotten. You measured my love by visible motion, by headlines and breakthroughs, by doors flinging wide and answers arriving with fireworks. And when the scenery did not change, you called it silence and made silence into absence. You were not trying to accuse me. You were trying to survive your disappointment. But hear me, you misread the evidence. Silence is not always absence. Stillness is not always neglect. What you called inactivity was often restraint. What felt like nothing was my hand holding back a tide you could not see. There is a kind of care that does not make a sound when it is working. A surgeon's most delicate work is quiet. A foundation poured in the dark does not announce itself at sunrise. My keeping is not always visible as movement. Sometimes it is visible as what never breached your borders. My beloved child, you gave the clock authority that belongs to me. You let calendars and comparisons speak louder than my character. You told time, name God, and time, being a poor theologian, whispered, late. I am not late. I am not indifferent. I am intentional. I have been quietly redirecting you in the places you thought were random. A conversation that did not happen, a message that went unseen, a fatigue that sent you home early, a lack of chemistry that kept your heart unknotted, a hesitation that saved you from an agreement dressed in opportunity but stitched with bondage. I closed doors you begged me to open because on the other side were wounds you were not meant to carry, compromises that would have looked like advancement, rooms where your gift would have been applauded while your soul slowly starved, partnerships that would have celebrated you into collapse. The disaster you never had to explain to your friends, that was mercy. The scandal that never found your name, mercy. The addiction that did not take root because the access point never materialized, mercy. Not all protection feels like rescue. Some of my greatest care looks like prevention. Do not call me gone where I have chosen to guard. Do not confuse my restraint with neglect, my timing with indifference, my quiet with absence. I am not punishing you with delay. I am preserving you with boundaries. Not all movement is progress. Not all delay is loss. I measure growth by roots, not by pace, by depth, not by noise. So let your story be corrected. Replace "he left" with "he kept." Replace "nothing changed" with "something was held back for my good." I am not forcing you, my beloved child. I am inviting you to see truly. Lift your eyes from the clock to my face and learn to recognize the shape of my care, even when it takes the form of a closed door and a holy no. My beloved child, let me walk you back through the rooms you never entered and the explanations you never had to give. The relationship that fizzled before it owned your name. The interview that went well until it didn't. The text you typed and never sent. The call you missed and felt foolish about. The car that would not start on the morning you were in a rush. The trip that was canceled by weather. The mentor who moved cities just when you thought the door was opening. The once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that dissolved without apology. The check that never cleared. The paperwork that jammed. The chemistry that wouldn't spark no matter how you tried to believe. The room that never invited you back. You assumed nothing happened. That very nothing was the sign of protection. I saw beyond the surface of what you wanted. You saw a stage. I saw the weight of it landing on unready bones. You saw a person who understood you. I saw a slow tightening of expectations that would have silenced your true voice. You saw income. I saw the clause that would have leveraged your integrity. You saw influence. I saw a circle of whispers that would have taught you to live on approval. You saw a yes. I saw the chain of consequences, the second and third link, where the shine fades and the cost multiplies. I guard you not only from visible danger, but from delayed pain. My beloved child, I listen to prayers you forgot you prayed. If it is not your will, block it. Keep me from what will destroy me, even if I want it. Do not let me settle for less than you. Make me like you, whatever it takes. I did not ignore those sentences when your mood changed and your impatience grew loud. I answered you with a no that looked like silence, with a detour that felt like insult, with a door that would not budge no matter who you asked to lean on it. Rescue does not always announce itself as rescue. There are motives beneath smiles that you cannot decode at first glance, and I read them without error. There are handshakes sewn with shackles, contracts inked with flattery, platforms built on sand that applaud you into collapse. I didn't let you be celebrated into slavery. I didn't let your name be attached to their game. I kept you from rooms where your gift would have been used but your soul neglected, from friendships that would have traded your softness for survival, from secret addictions that travel behind comfort and convenience, hiding their teeth until you cannot easily leave. The disasters you never had to explain, no frantic midnight calls to say, "I made a terrible mistake," no public apologies written with shaking hands, no lawyer's office, no cleansing of your name after a story broke you. These were not accidents of luck or proof that danger overlooked you. They were mercy, Prevention is a quieter miracle than provision, but it saves more than it shows. Do not grieve every closed door as loss. Some of my greatest care has come to you as an uneventful day, an unanswered email, a desire that cooled, a plan that never formed, a meeting that ended before it began. My beloved child, I have kept you from more than you know, and the keeping was love. My beloved child, now let me turn not only to what I kept from you, but to what the waiting tried to make of you. Disappointment repeated itself until it began to sound like truth. Hopes stretched, thinned, and snapped quietly in your hands. So you trained your heart to stop reaching. You stopped asking because asking hurt. You stopped expecting because expectation felt like cruelty. You told yourself, peace is learning not to want too much, and for a time it felt safer than hope. But hear me, emptiness is not peace. It is numbness rehearsed until it passes for wisdom. You learned to call dryness maturity because dry felt stable and stable felt safe. You renamed avoidance discernment because avoiding risk disguised itself as prudence. You baptized delay as good judgment because postponing obedience gave you breathing room to keep fear undisrupted. You were not trying to deceive me. You were trying to survive your ache. But survival strategies can harden into lifestyles. My beloved child, you were mistaken about what made you safe. Stagnation is not loud, it lulls. It does not break down the door, it sings you to sleep at it. It is small compromises repeated, prayers postponed until tomorrow, convictions softened to keep the peace. One more scroll, one more hour, one more later. Later is not neutral. Later is a polite thief with soft hands and a quiet voice. Later smiles and says, no rush. Everything is fine as it is. Later stands between you and the room I am opening, bowing graciously while it leads you back to your chair. Prolonged delay can be just as destructive as open rebellion. It simply arrives dressed in reason. Do you recognize the cadence that visited your mind? It did not shout, it sounded like you. Why try? Nothing changes. Don't embarrass yourself by hoping again. Protect your heart, keep expectations low. God forgot you, you must get used to this. Not every thought wearing your voice belongs to you. The enemy does not only tempt with what is obviously foul, he weaves reasonable-sounding sentences and drops them into your inner dialogue until you think caution is holiness and passivity is peace. Discouragement borrows your vocabulary. Weariness imitates your tone. Skepticism dresses up as intelligence, and slowly, half-awake faith becomes your normal. My beloved child, I come to wake you from a long trance, the trance of postponement. I do not shame you for how you coped. I understand the weight that taught you these reflexes, but coping is not calling. Your tenderness was never meant to be anesthetized in order to be safe. Your courage was never meant to be locked behind manners. Your prayer life was never meant to be managed by maybe later. The danger is not only what you suffer, the danger is what waiting can quietly turn you into if you fall asleep inside it. Careful instead of courageous, competent instead of surrendered, polite instead of present, busy instead of obedient. Wake, my beloved child. Let the ache you tried to mute become evidence that you were made for more than managing disappointment. Let thirst return. Thirst is not your enemy, it is your proof that I am still calling. Begin naming things rightly again. Call emptiness empty. Call dryness dry. Call avoidance fear. Call delayed obedience what it is. And then, with your next breath, let your heart sit up. I am near. I am not scolding you. I am inviting you back to alertness. Stay with me. Listen. Answer me in the present tense. My beloved child, do not mistake the rise in my voice for anger. I do not raise my voice to threaten you, only to wake you. I raise it because I love you, because time is not a toy. because numbness does not wait forever before it hardens into disbelief. I raise it like a parent who sees a child drifting toward the edge, not to frighten you into freezing, but to pull you into safety before the drift turns into a fall. Urgency is not condemnation. Urgency is my mercy refusing to let you drift into a life that numbs your calling. Warning is a gift. There are moments when your heart is soft like clay, fresh from the river, moments when truth can press a new imprint without breaking you. I am speaking into such a moment now. Tenderness does not last by accident. It must be answered while it is present. There is a brief window in which later is still reversible, a living hinge where a yes can still open what delay is quietly sealing shut. Repeated postponement carves grooves in the soul. Walk a path often enough and it becomes a trench deep enough to feel like fate, a trench that begins to look like chains. I am here before the trench becomes a prison. I am here before the reflex of maybe tomorrow becomes the narrative of this is just who I am. Today is a door, not a discussion. Only a response given at the moment of calling opens the next step. Do not confuse watchfulness with anxiety. Watchfulness is not panic. Watchfulness is focus. Watchfulness is the steadying of your gaze, the return of attention to what matters most, the refusal to be ruled by noise. And do not confuse obedience with pressure. Obedience is not performance. Obedience is alignment. Obedience is the relief of no longer wrestling my will to the ground. It is the exhale that comes when your yes finds its rightful place in my timing. My commands are not burdens, they are maps. My timing is not cruelty. It is kindness that calibrates weight to strength, doors to readiness, opportunities to integrity. My beloved child, I am not asking for perfection. I am asking for honesty. I am not demanding spectacle. I am inviting presence. You do not need a speech. You need a sincere yes. Stay with me one breath longer. Let this very breath be your altar. Tell the truth you have been circling. Name the fear that keeps disguising itself as prudence. Confess where later has become liturgy. I am not here to embarrass you. I am here to free you. I will not push you across the threshold. I will stand at it and call your name until you remember it is yours. Hear the texture of my urgency. It is gentle, but it does not compromise. It will wait for you, but it will not flatter your postponement. I am near you in this narrow hour where conviction is bright and excuses feel thin. Do not run. Do not rush. Do not hurry past me. Stay. Listen. Answer in the present tense. Lift your eyes from the clock to my face, from the groove to the path, from the numbness to the living river. My beloved child, I am raising my voice not to wound you, but to wake you into the life I have kept for you. My beloved child, you keep asking me, why is it taking so long? Why does the answer linger at the edge and not arrive? Hear me clearly. I do not delay because I lack power. I do not pause because I am uncertain. I am not weighing options as though I cannot see the end from the beginning. I delay because I am building capacity in you that speed would steal, because there are hairline fractures in unseen places that only time and pressure reveal, because I am healing cracks that blessing would otherwise exploit. I am digging foundations where you cannot see. Foundations are not romantic work. They are quiet, muddy, and below the surface where no one claps. You cannot frame the house until the footings can shoulder the weight. You cannot crown a structure until the soil is tested and the bed is settled. What looks like standing still from the street is, in truth, depth being established underground. I have been pouring truth into the trenches of your inner life, letting it cure, strengthening the places that must not shift when heavier assignments stand upon them. Do not call the curing time a waste. Wet concrete must be given its full measure of stillness, or the whole house will crack under weather you cannot schedule. My beloved child, you asked me for rain, for outpouring, for more. If I were to pour when the vessel is still cracked, the blessing would become a burden. Joy would leak through unhealed seams. Influence would magnify insecurity. Provision would feed illusions of control. I am not withholding to punish. I am mending to protect. I am sealing the fault lines formed by old wounds and untrue stories, sanding down pride that would splinter under praise, reinforcing humility so weight will not bow you in the wrong direction. A container that can hold without spilling, carry without straining, and pour without breaking. That is what I am fashioning in you. Consider the tree, my beloved child. A tree that has never faced strong winds will not grow roots deep enough to stand when the storm is not an event but a season. I am allowing winds at levels that drive you deeper, not to uproot you but to anchor you. Slow rings form in the trunk during lean years. Depth is not dramatic, it is faithful. Patience is not passivity, it is strength under control. Endurance is not punishment, it is muscle being built where softness once collapsed. I am teaching you the unglamorous graces, steadiness when unnoticed, integrity when unthanked, clarity when fog presses close, so that when visibility returns, you do not lose yourself to speed. What you call slow is often my love making the future safe for you. I am aligning calling to character, opportunity to integrity, reach to root. I am removing hurried motives so you will not use miracles to medicate emptiness. I am quieting your appetite for applause so you can be entrusted with influence without becoming its prisoner. I am training your ears to my voice in the ordinary so you can discern me when noise multiplies. I am shaping your heart to rejoice over doors I open and to rest when I close what would have crushed you. You say, but nothing is happening. I answer, everything crucial is happening. You just cannot Instagram a foundation. You cannot showcase cured concrete or healed seams and expect ovations. Yet these are the works that carry decades. Fast builds fall fast, deep builds last. I am not late, I am laying footings. I am not indifferent, I am intentional. I am making you able to bear what you asked me to give without it breaking you from the inside. Delay is not always denial. It is often preparation that keeps the gift from becoming a grief. Trust me while I work below the surface. Stand where I set you. Let the unseen become your strength. My beloved child, when the time comes, you will not be crushed by the very answer you prayed for. You will be ready to carry it. My beloved child, while I am digging foundations where you cannot see, there is also a hand that tries to kick sand into the wet concrete. The enemy rarely needs a catastrophe to derail you. He only needs a steady drip, repetition that numbs, weariness that blurs, and reasonable doubts that sound like common sense. He is content to win by inches, not a blaze but a slow dimming, not a tackle but a gentle tug back to your chair. He is patient with delay because delay, when welcomed, begins to do his work for him. He does not always arrive with horns and smoke. He borrows your voice. He threads sentences into your thoughts that feel like prudence, like protecting yourself, like mature realism. God forgot you. You missed your chance. It's too late now. Nothing will ever change. Don't embarrass yourself by hoping. Keep your expectations low. These are not neutral conclusions. They are seeds. Plant them long enough and they grow a canopy that blocks light, a canopy under which obedience feels unnecessary and risk feels irresponsible. The unseen battle often sounds like your own logic turning off your future. Learn to distinguish the tone of my conviction from the sting of accusation. Conviction is precise. It names the next faithful step and opens a door. Accusation is vague. It smears your name and locks every door at once. Conviction says, Here is where you turned, and here is how to turn back, and then it walks with you. Accusation says, you are the kind of person who always fails, and then it leaves you in the dark. Conviction may pierce, but it brings hope. Accusation may flatter your realism, but it breeds paralysis. My beloved child, I do not collapse you into shame. I call you forward with clarity. Not every thought is yours, and not every delay is defeat. Waiting that forms you is my work. Waiting that withers you begins with misinterpretation. The enemy uses repetition to make lies feel familiar, weariness to make honesty feel impossible, and reasonable doubt to dress fear in a suit and tie. Be sober-minded and watchful. You cannot afford to treat every inner sentence like a trustworthy guide. Take every thought captive to make it obey Christ. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Here is how you resist when the loops begin. Replace spiraling questions with present obedience. Do not debate a lie. Starve it. 1 step, not 7. 1 prayer, not a performance. 1 honest confession spoken to me or to a trusted friend. 1 boundary kept without apology. Turn off the screen that steals your focus. Make the call you keep postponing. Put the journal open on the table and write the truth you have been avoiding. Speak aloud, even with a whisper. In Jesus' name, I reject the lie that God forgot me. I choose to obey in the next 5 minutes. Small, immediate obedience is a door. Walk through it and the next door appears. My beloved child, discernment restores your authority. You are not a passenger carried by whatever thought arrives first. You are not at the mercy of fatigue or familiar narratives. Lift your chin. Breathe my name. Ask for light and act on the light you have. Do not run. Do not rush. Do not harden. Stay awake with me. Your mind is a battleground I intend to make into a garden, and each present tense yes clears ground for what I am planting. My beloved child, we have named the battle in your mind and the work beneath the surface. Now we stand at the threshold where everything turns. Hear me. Only a response given at the moment of calling opens the next step. When I say now, timing itself is part of the miracle. Now is not a pressure to perform. Now is a door into alignment. Now is where grace is concentrated for the act I am asking of you. Walk while the light is on the step in front of you. Do not demand a map when I am giving you a lamp. Not a grand vow, but a concrete step. Not another plan, but surrender. Not perfect clarity, but faithful movement. You keep thinking you need to see around the corner before you move. I am asking you to put your foot on the first stone so the second appears. My beloved child, delayed obedience is disobedience wearing the mask of caution. I understand fear. I will not let fear lead. I see your trembling. I will not let trembling choose your future. Say yes while your heart is soft. Act while the invitation is warm in your hands. What does a now step look like? It is smaller than you think and heavier than you imagine. Pick up the phone and apologize without explaining yourself. Forgive the name that keeps tightening your chest and release the debt to me. Stop returning to the door I have already closed. Delete the thread. Stop checking the page. Let the fantasy die with dignity. Rejoin the community you quietly left. Reply to the message. Walk back into the room. Sit under the word again. Return to prayer not with speeches but with breath. Father, I am here. End the hidden compromise. Pour it out, throw it away, cancel it, uninstall it. Bring it into the light with a trusted person. Set a boundary you keep betraying and keep it today. Open your hands over the plan you made and say, your will, not mine, and mean it enough to change your calendar. Do not confuse my kindness with indecision. I am not asking you to impress me. I am inviting you to align with me. Not more information, but immediate obedience. Not rehearsed regret, but present repentance. Not dramatic sacrifice, but consistent yes. To obey is better than sacrifice. 1 Samuel 15:22. Sacrifice tries to trade gestures for surrender. Obedience gives me the key to the room I am asking for. Doors often open inside before they open around you. When you obey now, your inner world unlocks. Clarity gathers, courage rises, the next piece slides into place, because you chose the moment I chose for you. My beloved child, do not wait until you feel fearless. Courage meets you in motion. Do not ask the clock to bless what only your yes can begin. I do not push you across the threshold. I stand at it and call you by name. Step through while the door is open. Say the sentence you need to say. End what is ending. Begin what is beginning. Sit with me for 10 quiet minutes and let me speak instead of the feed. Write the email. Ask for help. Return the call. Kneel. Rise. Now is not a demand. Now is a door, and on the other side is the next step you have been asking me to show. My beloved child, let me place my hand over the center of the matter and steady it. Your life is not defined by the speed of outcomes, but by the permanence of my claim over you. Before a calendar named your years, I named you. Before you succeeded or failed. Before applause or silence, before closed doors or opened rooms, I set my love upon you. You are not on probation with me. You are not an afterthought I fit into spare hours. You are not tolerated until you improve. My love does not wait at the finish line. My love walks you to it. You have tried to earn what can only be received. You stacked achievements like a ladder to reach what I placed in your hands as a birthright. Performance is a poor parent. It will pat your head and then raise the bar. Shame is a cruel coach. It will bark until you run and then call you lazy when you collapse. I am neither. I am your father. I do not love you because you are steady. I steady you because I love you. I do not choose you because you are strong. I make you strong because I have chosen you. There are cages within you not made of iron, but of words, memories, and distorted lessons. Too much. Too late. Not enough. Be useful or be quiet. Earn your place and keep it by never needing anything. Those sentences wrapped themselves around your ribs and taught you to breathe small. Control became your armor because to surrender felt like stepping into a moving river without a bridge. But control is only a thin garment covering fear. True peace is not the stillness you manufacture. It is the rest that descends when you place what you cannot hold into my hands and discover I was holding you. I am dismantling the cage quietly, in ordinary mornings and overlooked moments, in the way I meet you when you tell the truth instead of performing, in the way I rewrite an old scene with a new mercy. I am loosening bars. I am entering rooms inside you where vows were made in pain. Never again will I ask. Never again will I hope. And I am untangling them with gentleness. I am replacing the story that said you survive by control with the truth that you live by trust. I am not merely rearranging your circumstances. I am restoring your name. Hear me. The ache you feel, the thirst that refuses to die, is not proof of failure. It is proof of calling. Thirst is evidence that I am still drawing you. The longing in you that wakes when you hear my voice is not your enemy. It is my homing signal within your chest. Let it rise. Let it lead you back. When you know who you are in me, you will no longer ask outcomes to validate you or applause to anchor you. You will live from identity, not toward it. My beloved child, you are loved, chosen, and entrusted. Entrusted? Do you hear that word? I would not be digging foundations if I intended to sideline you. I trust you with people, with moments, with words, with assignments fitted to your frame. Lift your eyes from the measuring sticks that once ruled you. Breathe. Receive the truth I have been whispering through every closed door and quiet dawn. The deepest proof you are not forgotten is that I am restoring your identity, not merely rearranging your circumstances. Stand in this name, and let everything else take its proper place. My beloved child, let my word be the seal upon what I have been saying, the steadying hand that turns reassurance into direction. You have felt my nearness and heard my call. Now let authority anchor tenderness, so the comfort you received becomes courage you live. I am not giving you a slogan, I am giving you a sentence that opens a door. Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. Hebrews 3:15. Hear it as I breathe it over you now. Today is not a verse for someone else or a crowd far away. Today is the floor beneath your feet and the breath in your lungs. Today is where numbness breaks and softness becomes direction. Do not let later harden what is warm. Do not let analysis cool what conviction has set aflame. Do not wait for a different mood to do what this moment is empowering you to do. My beloved child, hardness is not strength. It is fear that has practiced its posture. Softness before me is not weakness. It is readiness to move. I do not leave you to guess your way forward. Listen to the promise I bind to your next step. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. Psalm 32:8. This is not merely an ancient promise. It is a present reality. I am not a distant lecturer. I am a present guide. My counsel is not cold law. It is love with its eye upon you. I see the path and I see your pace. I see the bend in the road and the bruises on your heart. I will instruct. I will teach. I will counsel. I will watch you with delight, even as I direct you with wisdom. You do not need to solve your whole life to honor this word. You need only to return to my voice and take the next step it names. Not a map of 10 years, but a lamp for the next stone. Not the pressure to produce, but the permission to obey. Hear me. Watch the difference this makes when you keep the heart soft and the response present. Do not run. Do not rush. Do not harden. Stay awake with me. Ask, Father, what is my now? And then do it while it is still today. I am not asking you to be fearless. I am promising to be with you as you move. My beloved child, I am leading you, not pushing you. I am not vague. I am specific in love. Lift your face and let the word today break the spell of postponement. Let my promise become your posture. Hold my hand, and we will walk this one step at a time. My voice your anchor, my eye your assurance, my word your doorway. Today you hear me. Today you keep your heart soft. Today you let me lead. Father, I am here. I come as I am. No speeches, no performance. I confess what I have believed in the quiet. I thought you forgot me because my circumstances felt unchanged. I confess the fatigue of waiting that made hope feel dangerous and desire feel foolish. I confess I called numbness peace and dryness maturity. I confess I baptized delay as discernment and wore caution like holiness, while disobedience hid beneath it. I confess I listened to thoughts that sounded like me, but did not come from you. Nothing changes. It's too late. Protect your heart by expecting little. Forgive me for misreading the evidence. Forgive me for letting later become my liturgy. Today, I call it what it is. Today, I turn. Thank you for keeping me when I did not know I was being kept. Thank you that I woke up again today with breath in my lungs. This survival is mercy, not accident. Thank you for the closed doors I resented, the invitations that never arrived, the paths that went nowhere. Some of your greatest care looked like prevention, and I was spared more than I know. Thank you for delayed answers that protected me from carrying weight too soon. Thank you for the disasters I never had to explain because your hand redirected me quietly. Open my eyes to recognize your fingerprints in the ordinary, Teach me to read silence as guidance, slowness as foundation, and no as loving protection. Father, I renounce postponement. I reject the trance of later in Jesus' name. I renounce the lie that caution equals holiness when it delays obedience. I renounce counterfeit peace that is only numbness rehearsed. Awaken me. Make me watchful without anxiety, focused without fear, soft without collapsing. Give me courage for one concrete now step. Name it, and I will answer while it is still today. Not a grand vow, but faithful movement. Timing is part of the miracle. To obey is better than sacrifice. Today, if I hear your voice, I will not harden my heart. Rebuild my foundations where I cannot see. Heal hairline fractures formed by old wounds and untrue stories. Seal the seams so what you pour will not leak. Drive my roots deeper through every wind you allow. Align my calling with my character, my reach with my roots, my opportunities with integrity. Train my ears to your whisper in the ordinary, so I can carry your word in the storm. I receive what you say about me. I am loved, chosen, and entrusted, not tolerated, beloved, not sidelined, prepared, not forgotten, kept. Free me from the cages of shame and the thin armor of control. Deliver me from counterfeit voices that smear my name and freeze my future. Break the agreements I made with fear. Teach me to rest in your holding rather than perform for approval. I lay down hurry, pretense, and self-protection. I pick up honesty, watchfulness, and present tense yes. Father, let this be the turning point where the abandoned story breaks and the kept story becomes mine. I was not forsaken, I was preserved. I choose to believe you. I choose to move with you. Lead me, and I will follow today. In Jesus' name, amen. My beloved child, the message is proven by your response. Comfort becomes transformation when your hand moves. Do not wait for a grand gesture. Choose one small now step and do it in the next few minutes. Write the one step on paper and circle it. Send the message you keep postponing. Apologize without defending. Ask for the meeting. Say yes to the door I have opened. Delete the temptation. Remove the number. End the thread. Uninstall what lures you to the edge. Open the Bible where you can meet me. Read one psalm out loud and let your own voice be the invitation. Return to prayer for 5 quiet minutes. Set a timer. Say, Father, I am here, and let the silence become a room I fill. Ask for help. Text the friend. Call the mentor. Bring the struggle into the light with someone trustworthy. One step, not 7. Now, not later. Here is the crossroads before you. Rise into wakefulness or keep circling the familiar path. I speak without shame, but I do not pretend there are no consequences. Delay carves grooves. Grooves become trenches. Trenches begin to feel like fate. I am here with an open door while your heart is soft and the light is on the step in front of you. Later will dim what is bright now. Later will make the same step feel heavier. Choose while the invitation is warm in your hands. Do not run. Do not rush. Do not harden. Breathe, decide, and move. Write the step, then take it before this moment passes. If you cannot finish it now, begin it now and schedule its completion today. Not a performance, alignment. And when this moment closes, keep watch with me. Watchfulness is not anxiety. Watchfulness is focus. Return daily to my voice over the voice of discouragement. In the morning, give me 5 minutes before you give your eyes to any screen. Read a psalm, whisper a prayer, ask, Father, what is my now? And do it before noon. At midday, pause for 1 minute to breathe my name and recenter. In the evening, review the day with me. Mark where you obeyed and where you postponed. And keep your heart soft through honest confession and gratitude. Replace spirals with steps. Replace noise with a lamp for the next stone. Let this become your rhythm. Simple, repeatable, steady. Not dramatic, but faithful. My beloved child, stay with me past this video. Do not let this be a warm moment that cools in isolation. If this spoke to you, make your yes visible and invite accountability. In the comments, write your now step or simply declare, "Today I said yes." Share a brief prayer request so this community can lift you. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not drift between reminders. Join a people who are learning to answer while it is still today. Share this with the one who needs to wake gently, not harshly. Return here, return to my word, return to prayer. One honest, immediate step turns comfort into transformation. Take it now, my beloved child, and keep walking with me.